I've been here at DePaul since 2008. I've been in Chicago since 1975. I've been a few different places, Florida, Kansas, California. But I decided to start my own production company earlier this year. We have designed a website that provided insight on our work. It's been a long time coming, mainly because it's something I've always wanted to do. I started out when I was a kid doing theater shows at my local church. I did West Side Story, Rumpelstiltskin. I've always done some type of theater, some type of dance, and it wasn't until I got into my late 30s, well, my late 20s, I'm in my late 30s now, that I really wanted to do film, and I really wanted to do everything in film, which is, you know, film production, screenwriting, all that. So, which brings me into Cam Production. Cam Production and Entertainment is a film production company that was discovered by me. We provide film for individuals, companies, short films that want to enter film festivals, independent. And for example, we, if someone was interested in, you know, providing a script, they would upload a script to the website, and we'll get back to them after my team looks it over and see what we can do for them. I grew up in Chicago on the south side, Inglewood. I've been in Inglewood since 1977. I've been all over. I mean, when you think about Inglewood, I mean, I say somebody was my church, Southside 79, Father Michael, 79 from Racine. They used to call it the 9, which is, you know, a term for 79th Street. Started out at grammar school at John W. Cook, and went there from Head Start to 8th grade. Graduated there in 1989, and it was some rough years there. Went to Calumet High School. I was accepted at Simeon, but my mom wanted me closer to the house, so I went to Calumet. Yeah, I was in gang territory every day of my life. Gunfighters, dead bodies on the street, prostitution, drugs, you name it. It did affect me a little bit. I was scared a lot of times. Sometimes we would walk out through the back and walk through the alley. My dad knew a lot of people there. My cousins knew a lot of people there, so that kind of like protected me. But it was hard growing up on the south side. I felt like it was a war zone that nobody cared about. One particular time, I was sitting on the porch in the summer, and my sisters were playing outside, and this car just started shooting right out front. I grabbed my sisters in a matter of seconds. If I would have tripped, they would have been dead. They would have been shot. John W. Cook was my foundation. I was bullied from 6th grade to 8th, but that didn't really define me. What defined me was when I went to high school. When I went to high school, everything, I grew up shy. I was always the quiet one. And everybody know Camille, she's so cute, but she's shy. That's what they was telling me. But when I went to high school, I kind of broke out. And that's when I got into band. I started playing the piano, the flute, the clarinet. And I had already played the guitar when I was a kid. So, but then I got into band, I got into all this stuff. So I just kind of like broke out of my shell. And that was a very defining moment for me, especially my freshman year. Opened me up to a lot of, I felt like my whole world was opening up to me at such a young age. Like I actually had choices that I was going to make something out of my life. I would say when I went to Harold Washington College, I went there, I kind of did a zigzag. I went to Columbia College right after high school, and then I doubled back and went to Harold Washington College. And when I went to Harold Washington College, I took a couple of courses in child development and psychology. And it wasn't until I took that psychology class that I really started thinking about what I wanted to do in my life. But back to Columbia College, after being kicked out, my first year I got all F's because I didn't take school serious. I didn't know, I wasn't really trained at in high school. I really wasn't taught, you know, you're on your own. I didn't know how to do that. So tried to go back, they accepted me back, and I tried to take some computer graphics. Went in the class for a couple of weeks, dropped right back out. When I left high school in 1993, I decided I wanted to become a member of Columbia College. And I was timid at first because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I sat down with the counselor, and we came up with something I like doing, which is taking pictures. And my first class that I took was photography 101. Entering the school was quite different for me because I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Coming here, diversity, I had a difficult time adjusting to that diversity. So this one young girl, she was talking about her anatomy, and she was showing pictures of how she took naked in the shower and expressing this. Me, growing up on the south side, we don't discuss our body. We didn't do any of that. So I had a hard time trying to explain myself to the professor of what I chose for my first homework assignment. And what I chose for my first homework assignment was a picture of Foster Park. And he didn't understand why I chose that picture, and I had to talk about it. And so it was a cultural awakening, trying to work with people who are different than you and trying to understand your way of thinking in art. I can remember my dad would pick me up from school, and I would go back to the south side bragging about all the times. I go to Columbia College, and even though I was telling my dad and my parents that I was doing well, I really wasn't doing good in school because I really wasn't focused. I stayed at Columbia for 2 years, so from 1993 to 1995. And I did photography and early computer graphics. So once again, I was back to just working, and I got my job at UPS, and I stayed there for about 5 years. So in that realm of things, I had so much going on. So 1993, I went to Columbia College, dropped out. 1995, went to Harold Washington, dropped out, went back to Columbia College, left again, came back to Harold Washington, did 60-hour credits at Harold Washington from 96 to 99, a long time, but that's where I learned how to do computers, and I taught myself a lot of stuff. I've always wanted to go to DePaul. I always looked at it as a school. If you go to DePaul, you're up there. So I started going to DePaul after my long reign, 2008. After I returned from Florida, after I lost everything. I lost my job, I lost investments, I lost everything. And at the time, I wasn't interested in going to school, but I thought it was the best thing for me. Now I have my bachelor's degree that I got in 2012, and my master's to be done at the end of this year. So now it's looking like I'm about to graduate.